Hi, welcome to this episode of Founder's Journey. And today I have Shannon Elsea on the show. How are you, Shannon?
I'm good, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Good. So today we have you on the show to talk about your insurtech startup, Founder Settlement Done Easy, right? So
Right. Settlement
you
Done
founded
Easy.
there, Settlement
I
Done
am I
Easy.
am the founder of Settlement Done Easy. Yes, sir.
Awesome. And I am not as fluent in the world of litigations,
Uh,
so I'm gonna have you drive this episode for us, for our audience, and then we have a lot of insurance people here. So litigation and conversation around litigation is what they talk about every single day. So I'm gonna have you take over the mic and talk to us about your company and what started the company.
I have been a personal injury lawyer for 30 years. I am one of those ambulance chasing lawyers that advertise on TV, billboards, bus bench ads, the whole nine yards. And when I started doing this in 1995, the process was pretty simple. You settled a case, the adjuster put a check and a release in the mail and sent it to you. You got both at the same time and did what you needed to do. Well, somewhere along the line in the mid to late 90s, one of my brother lawyers failed to get a release back to the insurance company. So the paradigm changed. So the adjusters required the release be returned signed before they sent the check. Now that lengthened the process, but the good news was we had fax machines that became a part of everybody's office equipment. They were a little difficult to work with at first, but eventually we graduated to emails. And in 2020, we started using DocuSign to get those releases signed, which meant you could get one, get your client to sign it, and get it back in about 5 or 10 minutes if everybody was paying attention. But the back half of that equation has remained the same. Insurance companies are printing a paper check that they put in the mail for delivery to the lawyer. And over the past 5 years, delivery times have increased 40%. And the real shocking part is since 2022, check theft from the mail has increased 400%. Last year in the United States alone, almost $1.4 billion worth of checks were stolen out of the mail and resold on the dark web. And 55% of all paper checks written last year were written by insurance carriers, which means they are prime targets for this fraud. So we started building uh, Settlement Done Easy to eliminate this risk to the insurance company. With our platform, we can exchange the executed release for an ACH settlement payment that goes directly from the insurance carrier to the law firm's trust account. There's no physical check that can be lost, stolen, or delayed in the mail, and it gets there within 3 business days.
Wow, the number that you are saying is mind-blowing to me.
I work with, or actually, we presented at InsurTech Connect in Vegas last year, and we were in the Innovation Alley, and there was a kiosk that backed up to ours with some gentlemen from a dark web security firm. And of course, over 2 days, you get chatting with folks, and they told me that, oh, yeah, we see insurance company checks on the dark web all the time. We're preparing to go to Global Insurance Symposium in Des Moines next week. And preparing for that, I said, hey, can you send me some screenshots of these checks that are out there? And they sent me 72 checks that, as of Wednesday morning, were available for sale on the dark web, and 7 of them were State Farm checks. There were checks from 3 other insurance carriers in that 72 that were out there. And I mean, that's the risk of loss, both to the carrier and to the payee, is huge. And then there are new banking regulations coming down that will be in place in the next year to 18 months that banks are going to do security audits of their account holders, including insurance companies, and they're going to set down dangerous practices that the carriers are participating in. And one of those may well be sending paper checks through the mail, that if they don't remedy that, the bank will no longer be responsible for those fraudulent charges, and it will fall back on the account holder. It'll fall back on the insurance companies. So really, the time to move to digital is now. And I know there's some reluctance, resistance, because we don't know how people are going to react to moving to digital. But the reality is the boomers that are your customers now are only going to be your customers for about another 10 or 15 years. Millennials, Gen Zs all use electronic payments. 85% of them use them as an exclusive mean for payments. And my 27-year-old, when he opened up a bank account with his first big boy job, he didn't even get a book of checks. And right now, Jeff, I would almost guarantee there are at least 3 payment apps on your phone that lets you send money to somebody. And I'm not talking about Amazon or Walmart, or I'm talking about that if the yard guy comes through and he's going to charge you to mow the yard, you can pay him with Cash App, you can pay him with Venmo, you can pay him with Zelle. This is how people expect to be paid. And over 93% of Americans get their paycheck by direct deposit. 70% pay all their bills online. So while I understand a reluctance to make a change, this is a change that's coming, and this is a change that your customers or insurance carrier customers expect.
I'm just like mind blown away from like all this that hasn't been solutioned earlier. Like people should all be looking at, if you look at the landscape of insurtech, there's like a gazillion software companies, right?
Right.
And there should be more payment. But what
There,
about what
we're
about health
starting to see.
insurance and like health side, Medicare side? Like, is the fraud
Well,
just as bad like the paper checks? Thank you for watching this video. Now a quick message from our sponsor, Mav.
Thanks, Jeff. I want to let you all in on a secret that top producing agencies don't want you to know about. If you're in P&C insurance, you know firsthand how much you're getting squeezed by your call center. It's becoming less predictable and less economically profitable to scale. But here's the thing. The top producing agencies making over $100 million are not running their leads through a human-based call center. They're running them through an AI expert like Mav to qualify, quote, and hand deliver the highest intent qualified leads to your agents. Mav takes care of the back and forth, having unlimited 24/7 conversations with your leads that are personal and relevant so you can scale to the moon. Ready to ditch your call center and 10x your agency? We're giving the listeners of insurtech's $15,000 worth of credit to try Mav. Head to hiremav.com/insurtechs to claim this offer.
it is. I mean, it across the board. And that 55% includes whether it's life insurance, health insurance payments that might be going, it includes all of that. But you will see President Trump in the last 2 weeks set down an edict that the federal government is moving away from paper checks. They say that by September 30, there will no longer be a paper check issued by the federal government. That had already come into play with the Federal Claims Commission. They're paying, if you have as I said, I was a personal injury lawyer. If you've got a claim against the post office, they're going to pay you with a direct deposit. They are paying those electronically, and the movement is to move away from those because those paper checks. The only thing that is stolen from the mail more than an insurance company check is a federal government check.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, whether the president can get that done in 6 months by September 30, like he wants, or if it's just a move in the right direction, I think we see that electronic payments is where everything is going.
Yeah. So, all right, you know the problem. Then what made you say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna start this idea. I'm gonna take on this idea.
Well, it's a bit of a funny story. This was in 2020 in the heart of COVID, and I was waiting on a client's settlement to come in, and it was late. It was going on 6 weeks since we had settled the case and sent the release back. We still didn't have the settlement proceeds or the check in the office. And I had just gotten off the phone with the client after he had yelled at me for 20 minutes. And my daughter, who was in college, texted me and she said, "Daddy, I want to go to Chipotle for lunch. Can you help me out?" And I said, "Yeah, girl, come by the office. I can take care of you." And I'm sure she rolled her eyes, but I know she huffed because I was on the phone with her, and she said, "Oh, can you just Venmo me?" And I realized there's a better way than what we were doing. So we sat down and started figuring out, and we actually talked to bar associations from all 50 states. We told them what we were designing, explained how it would work, and got their blessings over what we were building, that yes, this is how lawyers can receive their funds. Now, it's a little different with personal injury than it is with a divorce attorney or a criminal attorney or a real estate attorney, because when I receive settlement funds, some of that money belongs to me, but some of it belongs to the client. Some of it might belong to subrogation. Some of it might belong to a doctor. But when a divorce attorney or a family law attorney receives an ACH, all of that money belongs to them. So how we have to account for that is a little bit different, and that's some of the solution that we've built into Settlement Done Easy. This is not as simple as an ACH push. And then we couple that with the exchange of the release to make sure that before the money is sent, the insurance company has protected their insured. They have the signed release back in their file.
That's pretty cool. And you're not a tech person, you are a lawyer, so who
I
works
am.
for you? Thank you for all your support to our channel. Here is a quick word from our sponsor. Please click on the link below in the comment section to sign up for a demo with Track AI.
What if your insurance sales conversations could work harder for you? Meet Track, your AI-powered conversation intelligence partner. Track automatically captures and analyzes every customer interaction, providing instant call summaries, risk analysis, and AI-driven coaching insights. Say goodbye to manual note-taking and hello to more selling time. Track handles the admin work while you handle the revenue. Fully integrated with your favorite platforms. Plus, get custom AI analysis tailored to your unique business needs. Transform your sales team's performance with Track. Visit track.ai today.
Click the link in the description below to schedule a demo with Track today.
I reached out. I hired some developers who work freelance. They're really good guys. And what I learned is some of this process about how cases are settled and how we resolve them. Because I've done it so long, it's like tying your shoe. I don't have to think about tying my shoe. But to build out Settlement Done Easy, I really had to think about the process and be able to explain it to somebody or a team that had no experience in resolving cases, to make sure they understood what we were doing, how it needed to happen, and to make sure that we complied with all the legal and ethical requirements that the lawyer is required to meet, as well as help to save the insurance company the risk of loss. And surprisingly enough, we're way cheaper than sending a paper check through the mail.
Who are your customers?
Right now, we haven't gotten that first customer. We are in conversations with a company that has a claims management program. They focus on smaller carriers, but they're looking for a payment option, and that those conversations are continuing. But it may be that that's us. We will be at GIS next week making a pitch as part of the Future of Insurance Showcase there in Des Moines. And then we've been talking to VCs about, some help maybe to continue us on this journey.
Are you bootstrapped
So far, yes.
and you're racing your seed round, or would you consider yeah?
It's one of those looking at all the definitions of where we fall, we're kind of in between pre-seed and seed. We have a working MVP. I can move money today if somebody wants to, but I don't have that first customer. And that really, it feels to me like once we get the first one, then we're going to start knocking over dominoes. Because the funny thing is, I hear from a lot of people, well, this is just a good idea. I don't know why we haven't done this before. I joked with my wife a couple of weeks ago. I said, if one more person tells me this is a good idea, I don't know why we haven't done it before, I'm going to scream. But it is that. It is what is coming, and it's just time to do it.
How do you guys make money? You guys make money on the transactions? On
Yeah,
the
we charge the insurance company 50 cents a transaction, cheaper than the postage stamp or even the metered mail that they're spending right now. That's billed once a month at the end of the month. For the law firms, they're charged $9, which is debited from a credit card on file, and that's for the security and certainty of delivery of the settlement proceeds within 3 days.
Well, any other show you gonna be at this year?
We're going to be at Insurance Innovators in Nashville in May, and we haven't booked anything beyond that, although we are looking at a few others, and ITC wants us back. We get emails every day from ITC. So that was a great time and met a lot of wonderful people that helped to validate this idea, and we know that this is a process. Nothing happens overnight, but we really feel like we're making a lot of headway.
Yeah, we had you on a short clip interview from ITC from last year.
You sure did, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I am intrigued, very intrigued, and on your product that you built, and good luck on your journey. And for our audience that's listening to this episode, make sure you click on the comment below and check out Shannon's LinkedIn profile. Make sure you connect with him and follow his journey.
Very good. Thank you.
Shannon, any last words for our audience?
Check us out if you're in Des Moines next month or in Nashville in May. Come by and check us out, and be happy to give you a demo.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much, Shannon. Come on the show and have a good one.
Thank you, Jeff.